They say trains don't wait for anyone. But one night, in a small countryside station, a train did wait. Not for the schedule, not for the signal, but for two people who were never supposed to meet and couldn't live until they said what life forget to let them say. If you ever missed someone by a moment or wondered what might have been happen if you have just stayed a little longer, subscribe and take a seat. The journey is about to leave. The train station at Hamsley Cross had been half forgotten by name. Only 3 trains passed through it every day, and the last one, the 10:12 to Brighton, almost always left empty. Anna Lowell, 34, sat alone at the wooden bench under the flickering platform light. Her coat was damp, her suitcase small, and her eyes carried that familiar exhaustion that comes from running away or running back. She'd just left her job in London. No grand plan, no clear destination, just the growing ache to get out before her heart forget what peace sounded like. The rain smelled like cold iron and nostalgia. The loudspeaker crackled. 10:12 service to Brighton will depart shortly from platform number 2. Anna looked at the clock above her. It says 10:11. 1 minute. She closed her eyes. And then a voice behind her. You look like someone who missed something. Fate never shouts. It just taps your shoulder at the exact minute before the train leaves. Anna turned. A man, mid-30s, rain-soaked coat, holding a half-wilted bouquet wrapped in newspaper. Dark hair, tired smile, eyes that had been more goodbyes than they deserved. Didn't mean to startle you, he said. You didn't. She lied. He sat down beside her, leaving just enough distance to keep the silence polite. You waiting for the 10:12? Yeah. It's late, he said. It's always late. They both stared at the tracks. The rain slowed. The world felt paused, as if even time wanted to eavesdrop. I'm Daniel, he said after a while. Anna. Traveling for work? Leaving work. He chuckled. The brave kind of trip. You? She asked. Going to meet someone? Or I was? I think she changed her mind. He looked down at the bouquet. Petals wilted, newspaper damp. I have been sitting here for 2 hours. The train never came. There's one coming now, Anna said. Yeah. He smiled. But that's not the one I meant. Something in his voice made her chest tighten. That quiet resignation you hear only from people who have waited too long and still don't regret it. The train's headlight appeared down the tracks, a pale glow cutting through the rain. The announcer's voice crackled again. The 10:12 service to Brighton is now arriving. The train pulled in, slow, sighing, almost reluctant. Doors hissed open. Empty carriages. Anna stood. Daniel didn't. Are you, aren't you getting in? She asked. I was supposed to take the 8:12, he said softly. This wasn't mine. She laughed. Trains don't care. This one does. And somehow she believed him. Sometimes life delays you just enough to meet the right coast in the wrong timetable. The clock read 10:13. The conductor hadn't blown the whistle. The train just waited. Anna hesitated by the open door. It's strange, she said. Feels like it's waiting for something. Daniel looked up. Maybe for us? Us? Yes, you, me, and all the things we never said to the people who stopped waiting for us. His voice wasn't flirtatious. It was tired, honest, heavy with kindness. Anna exhaled. What were you going to tell her? The one you were waiting for? He thought a long moment. That I forgave her. That I finally understood. And now? Now I'll tell you, I can be a stranger instead. She smiled faintly. Lucky stranger. Luck got nothing to do with it, he said. Timing does. She hadn't told anyone why she would quit her job, but why her fiance's ring wasn't on her hand anymore. 2 years of pretending things were fine, 2 years of listening to silence that felt louder than love. He had said she was restless. She had said she needed time. Neither realized that time, once broken, doesn't glue itself back together. Now, she was sitting beside a man who smelled like rain and heartbreak, and for the first time in months, she didn't feel tired. People think love is about saying and about staying. But sometimes love is the train you finally have the courage not to chase. The loudspeaker buzzed again. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the delay. The 10:12 service to Brighton will depart shortly. Anna frowned. She looked at the clock. 10:21. 9 minutes late. That's impossible, she murmured. They're never late. Daniel smiled. Guess we are lucky. Why? Because I think it's waiting for you. She stared at him. At his damp coat, his kind eyes, his fading bouquet. He wasn't her story. He was just a paragraph she'd stumbled into. But something deep inside whispered, this is the page you were supposed to find. You should come with me, she said, To Brighton? Why not? Because some of us are already where we are supposed to be, he said quietly. The train's whistle blew, soft, almost reluctant. Anna stepped inside the carriage. She turned. Goodbye, Daniel. She nodded once. Goodbye, Anna. The door slid shut. The train shuddered, but didn't move. She looked out of the window. Daniel was gone. The bench was empty. Only the willed bouquet remained, resting where he had been. Hours later, as the train glided through the grey dawn, Anna reached into her coat pocket for her phone. Instead, she found something else, a photograph, old, black and white. It showed Hampsley Cross platform and a man standing under the same flickering lamp holding a bouquet. Written on the back, Daniel Webb, last seen February 13th, 1954. Waiting for the 10:12 to Brighton. The blood drained from her face. She looked at the clock above her seat. 10:12. And for the first time she realized the train had started moving only after she said goodbye. When she arrived at Brighton, the morning was pale cold. She stepped into the platform, the photo still in her hand. The conductor, an older man with a kind face, tipped his cap. Miss, you are the only passenger on that train tonight. I know, she said softly. Strange, isn't it? He said. We almost didn't depart. Signal just wouldn't turn green. Maybe it was waiting, she whispered. For what? Closure. Every now and then, life gives you a station between chapters, a quiet place to meet someone who reminds you that waiting isn't always wasted. Daniel waited a lifetime, and I waited long enough to understand why. The train waited not for passengers but for peace. So, if you ever find yourself alone on a platform after dark and the train's late for no reason, maybe it's just waiting for your goodbye.